Hey everybody, welcome to Neil Talks. My name's Neil and it's time to talk The Expanse. I know I kind of just gush about this show because I'm loving the ride so much. It's been such a blast, such a refreshing take on sci-fi. It feels like there's very little fiction in the sci-fi of this show. It feels so real, it feels so possible. It feels. I remember reading this in the comment section when I first started the series a number of months back, that it's not so much sci-fi as time travel. We're just looking into our own future, and I feel that way. It feels so real. It's got great social commentary and really well developed, fascinating characters. I just can't wait to dive into more of it. And season 3 is shaping up to be a really amazing ride. Cannot wait for more. We're still wrapping up the we're not wrapping up, but we were still in the second book of the story. Although we did finish up season 2 with a big subclimax, if you will, but we still have some major things to deal with. Now we've got Christian and Draper on the Razor Crest, presumably heading back to Earth, but can they get there in time to stop Aaron Wright and his plan to basically launch total war against Mars? If anyone can do it, it's Christian, but Aaron Wright's done a great deal of damage to her reputation while she's been trapped on Mao's yacht. So let's see how that struggle plays itself out in the next couple of episodes. We've got this very interesting dynamic on the Rocinante, which is no longer the Rocinante. It's got a new call sign, and it's the Pinus contortus, if I remember correctly, something like that. It's the Latin name of some twisted pine. I don't know whether it's like the bristlecone pine or the knotty pine or some other species, but it can only reproduce in fire. Forest fires trigger the pine cones to release their seeds, and that's how it spreads. That's how it grows. Clearly, it's a metaphor. Baptism by fire, etc., etc. We managed to dispose of the one Caliban on the Rocinante, and we didn't know where we were going to go next. Were we going to go back to Tycho, where we would at least be welcome because of the favor that Naomi did to Fred Johnson at the end of season 2, or is there another option? And so we were reluctantly going to go back to Tycho until Holden decided, you know what we need to do is start helping people. And the person we need to help the most is our newest crew member, Prax, because his daughter is still missing, and we told him we would help, but we've really done nothing to actually help him yet. So why don't we help him? And Holden's discovered this facility on another of Jupiter's moons. Was it Callisto? That may be where May's being kept in stasis. We saw her in a coffin-like structure being put away a couple of episodes ago. But yeah, is it going to be that easy to find May and rescue her, or is there going to be a longer quest? I don't know. And let's go back to Naomi's decision to give the proto-molecule to Fred Johnson. Her logic was, Earth's got it, Mars has it, the belt needs it too. And that perspective is completely valid. I get it, because this is a new technology that is changing everything. But the potential for disaster with this new technology is also incredibly high. It's not unlike the nuclear race in the mid 20th century. First nuclear weapons and then nuclear power. Everyone needed to have it to be considered a world superpower, but the potential for disaster, for catastrophe, for war crimes was incredibly high. And the proto-molecule is very much in a similar vein. It just also happens to be an alien life form. So, yeah. But the one fact that Naomi didn't consider in her equation, because she didn't know about it, to be fair, is that not only do Earth and Mars already have the proto-molecule, it would appear that the proto-molecule also has Earth and Mars, namely on Venus. The proto-molecule that landed on Venus in the Eros collision survived. And not only did it survive, it is growing and organized and it's doing something. And maybe Julie Mao and Miller are still part of that in some way. We don't know, but the potential is there. If the proto-molecule survived, then it's entirely possible that they survived as well. And the proto-molecule is powerful enough on Venus that it has captured and disassembled this UN research vessel and a Martian vessel as well. Well, we don't know for sure about the Martian vessel, but the Martian vessel disappeared just prior to the UN vessel disappearing. The UN vessel is currently in this state of sort of suspended animation. It's been blown out like an engineering diagram. The crew still seem alive, the last we saw of them anyway. But what is the proto-molecule's intent with these ships and these crew on these ships? Like, it doesn't seem to be randomly infecting itself the way it did upon Eros. This seems to be a different tactic. So we know that the proto-molecule learns, that it evolves. So it becomes a new enemy regularly, certainly over the course of the last season or so. So, what is its intent? Who knows? But the proto-molecule basically has all this additional info from Earth and Mars now with these research vessels, with these new crew. My assumption is that it wants to leave Venus and spread itself throughout the system. That's why it was sent to the system in the first place, from wherever it came, to spread itself. So how does it do that? Does it need to build itself a ship? Or does it find a way to propel itself through space towards Earth and Mars and the belt? I don't know. I'm super curious. I want to know more. Let's watch the next episode. This one's called IFF. I have no idea what it stands for. It's written in acronym form. It looks to me as if I'm working in Microsoft Excel, and this is some sort of logical operator, like if false or something. I don't know. Or international face-fashion. Who knows? IFF. Let's check it out. I love the opening music for these credits, and I know nothing about them. Is it original composition for the show, or is it... Can anyone tell me anything about them? Are we back? Ganymede Station? This looks like... Yeah, okay.
One day.
Oh. Oh, May's got a good scream.
Oh, did you have a bad dream?
I want my daddy.
Oh, I know.
Has she been in
I
cryostasis?
know, and big girls don't cry now, do they?
No.
Girls
You told me you
don't
could take care of
cry.
yourself. She's gonna give you your medicine too. You know how important that is.
I can't ever miss a dose.
That's right. I'll bet you're hungry.
What a
Bye-bye.
piece of untrustworthy crud. Yeah. Let me close my Thule kid coffin. It's a roof rack. Well done, props team, for that idea. Helium refinery. We're running out of helium here on Earth. We're going to need places like this. Well, Stephen Straight's a producer now. Guanxian. Oh, is that the name of the yacht? Okay.
I don't see the dropship.
Neither do I. If I turn on any active sensors, it'll give us away.
Fuck.
I'm sorry about Kotia.
I don't think
Did you
he's
kill him?
dead yet.
Then fuck your sorries.
I love how angry Christian gets, but she stays so logical.
Least we can do is sit tight and wait.
So they're just on thrusters?
At this separation, a good pilot would be able to dodge a torpedo.
I'm not a good pilot.
No, I'm a Marine. Pilots carrying me to kill things.
What was that?
Shit!
They got us.
Not
Lock?
yet. Hang on.
Oh, this ship is so badass. Oh, which way are they headed? Oh no.
I can't go any slower than this. Is that better?
I'm alright, but maybe not. If we have to keep this up, we need to send a message.
We can't. Our comms were locked out from the Guanxian. I've got an emergency wideband transmitter, but it's low power and only sends MCRN encrypted. Only Martians will understand it.
No. The Rocinante will get it.
To them, you're a war criminal and I'm a deserter.
The UN is trying to kill us. If Mars throws us both in prison, that's an improvement.
Minus Contorta. Down for Io, not Callisto. My bad.
We're running low on air filters. This should stretch what we got till after I.O.
Oh, and Amos rigged a safety
Is
shutter
that real? I need
to
some
protect the panel.
purifying plants for my apartment.
IFF just picked up a signal.
That's gonna be
It's a identified friend or foe.
that's gonna be Christian and Bobby.
I have a high-level diplomatic target and immediate threat. This is an MMC emergency assistant link.
Yeah. How many other Martian vessels are gonna get that though? Is that who I think it is?
Hey, stop!
Whoa! Don't you dare!
Let me see. I'm Anna. What's your name?
Anna?
Colin, look at me. Is this your first protest?
You sure it isn't Juliet, Anna?
I've had my share.
Who is she? What?
He needs medical attention. I know you have a first aid station near here, right?
No, that's only for UN officials.
I'm going to be checking in on Colin. And if he does not get the care that he deserves, things will not go well for you. Bye, Colin. Go!
Who is she? Alright. Earth doesn't want a war. That's some good crowd tiling there.
We're in a meeting.
Sorry, sir. I thought...
Anna.
Oh, she knows the Secretary General.
You haven't changed a bit.
I like to think I have.
Undersecretary Sadovir Ehrenreich.
Piece of shit.
Reverend Dr. Anna Volavadov, an old friend.
Reverend Doctor. Oh.
Anna, I need your help.
Bullshit.
You know that there are not many people that talk to me like that anymore. At least not to my face.
Christian does.
You're here because you talk to me like that. I'll be addressing the General Assembly. It'll be the single most important speech of my life. I want you to help me write it.
You want me to help you justify this war?
We didn't start it, but for the good of the system, we need to win it. And
Yeah, you did. Ehrenreich started it.
will you help me?
I'd prefer not to.
Yeah.
My church just opened a free clinic for undocumenteds.
She's going to start negotiating with...
Support my clinic for a year.
1 year. Ask for 10. Anna. I'm going to keep thinking of her as Juliet for a while. But so cool to see her.
I have a high-level diplomatic target and
Is anyone going to recognize her?
We're in a civilian racing vessel being pursued by a rogue UN hostile.
Racing vessel.
We just got out of the heroic intervention business.
A Martian sends up a flare and all of a sudden we got rules?
Alex.
No!
You're not gonna fucking believe this.
Yeah.
The ship's registered to Julie Mao.
And it's the Razorback.
Jesus Christ.
All right, laying a course, I'm on my way.
Belay that.
No.
Not responding.
What?
It's Julie Mao's ship.
It doesn't change anything.
Captain's right.
We promised you. We'd help try to find your daughter.
So freaking close.
Can you look him in the eye and tell him that whatever this might be is more important than finding his kid?
Frax is going to say, we should help. It's the Razorback. I don't... come on, I want worlds to collide here.
You promised me a weapon system, and I
want it now.
Earth and Mars witness a power that can turn an asteroid into a guided missile. And all they want to do is destroy each other over it.
The proto-molecule is clearly not what we thought it was, but...
If Ehrenreich uses the hybrids, they could lay waste to all of Mars.
Okay. What do we know?
Hybrid number 86 has been loaded. All hybrids
86. Where are we sending them? I love the progression of the plane to the ship painted on the side of the Razorback.
Sharp headache?
Why?
I'm trying to gauge if you're having a stroke.
What could you do if I were?
Stop.
Keep clenching your thighs. Do you like to whistle?
Don't try to distract me like I were a child.
It forces you to breathe. Do anything, just don't pass out. Relaxing is what gets you.
Given our situation, you have to tell someone what really happened out here.
That's your job. I'm not letting you die.
The Martian Marine risking her life for me.
We're on the same side.
Which side is that?
The right side. Ma'am?
Martian. Oh shit! Here come the missiles. This isn't good. That's Ehrenreich's, the Ehrenreich controlled ship, right?
More torpedoes. A lot more. Another ship just fired on us. Hang on.
How good a pilot is Bobby? There's a lot of incoming. Oh. What? They weren't designed to hit. What are they doing?
What happened?
I'm not sure.
Are they just designed to
What the hell?
fry the systems or something? Is it like a...
That's not how those things usually work.
Yeah. What the hell?
2 of ours for 2 of theirs.
Copy that.
Our other 6 are protecting the Razorback.
That was the easy part.
Well, Holden changed his mind.
The only reason we're in this scrap is because you broke the tie.
Those people cried out for help. Couldn't ignore that.
Yeah.
You can't save everyone.
Trax's
It's a
call.
waste of time to try.
I haven't seen him for years, and I'm still so angry. I can't bring myself to forgive him.
What did he do?
To forgive him. You're there to help people with your words.
What did he
and
do?
maybe those words will change the Secretary General's heart too. So, are we going to talk about that cut on your forehead?
No.
So what? Oh man.
The Euroman ship just fired on us.
Buckle up. We're good.
What is the plan here? Uh-oh. What? Oh, there's still some proto-molecule on the damn ship, isn't there?
Cap, you sure? We picked this fight. We're punching above our weight. If you've got a better plan, now would be the time.
All right.
Let's do it.
I love the blue as battle conditions on the Martian ship. Oh, it's the guy got his arm fixed.
We were not stopped.
Oh,
Is
this
that you
is
standing behind him?
years ago.
It was.
Practically made the SG's career. They teach it in the diplomatic corps. You write it?
I share the blame.
If Jules Pierre Mao is as smart as his media claim he is, he turned himself in. We've already frozen his assets.
And if that's not enough, we know where his children live.
You know, we've had a whole other testament since then, right?
Sometimes you need to exert pressure where it's most effective.
Collective punishment is still a war crime. Look it up.
She's always like this. Don't worry. You'll get used to it.
Oh, I like putting her in the mix here. Okay. What exactly are these just... Is that just a nuclear explosion? Just...
I think I'm getting used to IG.
I dropped our burn to 1G when our escort showed up.
What's happening in there?
In through your nose, out through your mouth.
Yeah, what? Ah! Oh, shit.
Sorry, okay. Stay in the damn seat! Okay.
It looks secure to me. Ah! Shit. Okay. It's nothing more sinister than loose tools, but that's going to be problematic. Jesus. Jesus. Yeah. His tube. His breathing.
I can't breathe.
Oh, God. It's like when you learn scuba for the first time. They make you take your respirator out just so you don't panic.
Proto-molecule can't be controlled.
Actually, that's not true. By using them.
These children are the key.
How?
These children share a rare genetic immune deficiency that only occurs on Ganymede, could be used to inhibit the proto-molecule.
So their disease controls the proto-molecule.
Incredible.
God, he looks sinister.
Dr. Strickland said that by the time we're ready to leave, we'll be cured.
Really?
He's been giving us new treatment.
Do you feel better?
Want to see something cool?
Was that proto-molecule they injected her with?
I believe.
I wasn't even thinking they're doing that right now. Do we know what? Yeah, oh my God. That's definitely what they're doing.
Do what you have to do.
You know how I say there's no villains in this show? Can we agree Mao is a little villainous? Jeez, Amos. I thought you said there's no point in helping anyone. Oh, crap. Amos is a fucking boss.
I'm coming.
Oh, God. Not helping. This is such a cool
Doc, look at me.
shot.
Hang on.
I want to see the behind the scenes for this. Good wire work. Okay, now get Amos back to his. Oh! Holy shit, Amos is a superhero.
Now? Now!
Okay, what's the secret plan? Okay. Missiles. Okay, turning them all
Stand by.
back.
Looks like we're in for another rough ride.
Is she stroking out? Now what? What's the plan here? Oh, just coming out of the cloud? Taking out the engines? Bad ass.
It sheared the engines clean off. Holy shit, it worked.
You think the UN's gonna give us a free pass for sparing lives? Crippled one of their ships. You just declared war on Earth.
Yes, but you're gonna get Christian and Bobby on board, so that's freaking awesome. That sucks. That really sucks.
Are you trying to get yourself killed, Doc? No. Then why stop to do this? But what I do know is that a kid needs at least one person who never gives up on them.
Yep.
No matter what.
You have someone like that?
It's not about me.
No, but he does.
It's about you.
We've seen her name. I'm trying to remember it. Lydia. Oh, this is so awesome. Worlds colliding. I hope Christian's okay. At least we have medical facilities on the Rossi, but... Sorry. The Pinus Contorta. Fun shot. Really fun shot.
Help her, please.
Is she well enough known that everyone recognizes her? Oh. This show is just turning me into a fanboy, guys. I mean, you're giving me Dr. Juliet Burke, and you're colliding worlds in a single episode here. I'm geeking out. This is so cool. I feel like Anna is here to stay for at least a little bit. We introduced some new characters at the start of season 2. It makes total sense we'd introduce some more here in season 3. And putting somebody now that Christian is out in space, out in the expanse, hooking up with the Rocinante, it makes sense that we throw somebody new into the mix back on Earth to make the dynamic between the Secretary General and Aaron Wright more interesting. I like that the Secretary General, who's always been a bit of a passive character here on the show, he's bringing in an old advisor of his own, and yet they've got this interesting dynamic where she feels guilty for helping him out in the past, and yet that's what he's asking for right now to justify the war to the 30 billion residents of Earth. And you can see Anna and Aaron Wright certainly having a clashing of perspectives, if nothing else. They're keeping it all very civil and polite so far, but we already can tell that she's not a character who will hold her tongue. So I'm excited for more of that and more of her. Obviously, I don't. Have any of you not seen Lost? Do any of you not know who Dr. Juliet Burke is? Because certainly one of my top 5 characters of all time on that show, and I'm so excited to have her here. But I'm also super excited that we just hooked up the Razorback with the Rocinante, and Bobby's going to meet the crew, and it seems like at least Holden recognizes, Christian and Holden have at least spoken via communication back during the Eros crisis. So the fact that they're back together and face to face for the first time is super exciting. I cannot wait for the next episode to see all of those conversations and that dynamic evolve. I feel like we're fleshing out the crew. I can't imagine that Christian remains a member of the crew. It feels like the thing to do is to get her back to Earth to at least alleviate the crisis that Aaron Wright has put Earth in. And yet the Rocinante just essentially declared war with Earth. That's what Holden just explained. We just crippled one of a UN ship. That's a declaration of war. You're just this random fourth party out there. You're not the Belt. You're not Mars. You're team system. I don't know what you want to call it, or maybe it's just like Bobby says, we're on the right team. But it seems like the thing the right team should be doing right now is getting Christian to Earth, and yet we also need to get to Io to help Prax, and we may be low on fuel, and turning around might cause us to run out of fuel, and we only have 2 missiles left, and we have less than 10% of our ammo for our rail guns, so we're running low on supplies. And where do we restock? Where do we refuel when we're persona non grata in Earth space? We could go to Tycho, but then you enter this whole interesting dynamic with Fred Johnson. Yeah. So excited for this season. It already feels like things are coming to a head because we're wrapping up the second book. I don't know exactly how many more episodes we have before we kick off into the third book, but I love that things are already super tense, very high stakes, and yeah. We're also learning even more about the proto-molecule, that these kids with this rare genetic condition that seems to be a result of the magnetosphere from Ganymede, because that's that's the only moon or planet where this condition arises, may be the key to controlling the proto-molecule in these hybrid Calibans, because it sounds like what Strickland did. He put he basically put a grenade inside all these all the hybrids, a failsafe, so that if and when the proto-molecule sort of assumes complete control of the hybrid, and they can no longer control it with their command systems, whatever those are, they can self-destruct it. But that may not be necessary if they make these kids the Calibans. But what else were they doing with the? It seemed, and I'll get a better idea of what happened when I do the edit of this, because I'll be able to replay the scene a couple of times. We briefly touched on them launching a Caliban, maybe, and like hybrid number 86 or something, but it looked like it was in a torpedo basically, and it was being sent somewhere. But yeah, these Calibans can be deployed anywhere. They don't require any real life support, it seems. It looks like they can survive in the vacuum of space just fine. So why not just hurl them as fast and as far as you want? But just a handful of Calibans could wipe out all of Mars, is what they think. So that's the new nuclear option in this world, it would appear. I love that so much of the battles in this episode, it wasn't CQB, it wasn't close quarters like we've had in the past. But what I like so much is that just the G-forces themselves are such a major concern. Christian, who's not trained for space travel and is getting older, she's not as able to deal with the high G's of the Razorback escaping the pursuit. And so the question is do you stroke her out, or do you slow down and put yourself in missile range? I love ideas like that. I love that one unsecured storage table suddenly creates all these projectiles. I thought there was something weird happening with that small amount of proto-molecule that was left on board the Rocinante. But no, it's just there's tools flying about, and they're going every which way depending on which way the Rossi's burning at that moment. I love that, and any one of these like relatively innocuous tools could be a deadly projectile. I love that, losing your oxygen tube is a major crisis, and that whole scene of Amos just unhooking himself, working his way hand over hand just across a space which probably wasn't much more than like 12 or 15 feet, but because of the changing G's, was throwing him every which way. Really creatively shot, really well done. Kudos to the stunt team and the wire work for that. But also sort of, just prior to that, we had this conversation between Amos and Prax. And, Amos is going, why on earth did you cast your vote the way you did, so that we're going to help this random Martian vessel, because that's all it is at the time. Well, they know it's the Razorback, but they don't know who's on board. And Prax's response is, you guys are helping me, I feel like I need to help too. But Amos's response to that is, there's no guarantees that you can help anyone, so it's pointless to try. And yet, when Prax is suffering directly across from him, when Amos is confronted with that choice in real time, his immediate response is to put himself at risk to save Prax, because Amos is a frickin' superhero. And that last minute save of the drill that was going to smash right into Prax's helmet, Amos is a boss. And I love that we've been hinting at his history on Earth. That he, every child needs that one person to look out for them no matter what. And we know that he's been researching or looking into this woman named Lydia from Baltimore. Lydia Malouf? That just suddenly popped into my head. That may be wrong, but I think that's what it was. And I feel like she was I don't know whether she was a madam or a sex worker or what, but it feels, I feel like Amos grew up in a brothel in Baltimore. And he certainly didn't have a healthy childhood, and yet he had this one woman, Lydia, who looked out for him, and he has a real warm spot in his heart for. I want to know more about that story eventually. I want to know more about everyone's story. I love that we've been hinting at things like, we finally saw Alex send a message home to his wife and child on Mars. We'd be forgiven to assume that his family was already dead or imaginary based on how little contact he's had with them in the first 2 seasons. But no, he has a family. It's just he also has this call to adventure that he can't ignore and is the only thing that makes him happy. Being a pilot is where he thrives, and by being a pilot, it means you're out in space. You're away from home. That's the nature of the beast. I love that. I love that we've hinted that Naomi has or had a child. She no longer does, but did that child die, or was it taken from her, or what are the circumstances of that story? Super curious. Holden comes from this interesting family where he has 8 parents. He's the only child, primarily as a tax credit. Bobby has a bunch of brothers, none of whom joined the Marines. They all went to become scientists at Martian universities instead. I love that we haven't been slapped in the face with any of this information. It's all just come out naturally and organically, and yet it makes us curious. It informs our ideas about who these people are, and just makes these characters feel more real. Some of it may never actually really matter, and yet, if I told you, my audience, that I was the oldest of 3 boys, that doesn't necessarily tell you anything about my personality or anything, and yet it's something more that you know about me that may in some way add to your understanding of who I am as a person. And that's what this is doing too. It just gives us one more fact to work with when we're trying to understand the characters in the story. And I think that's it. It's really, really mature storytelling, because you're not throwing these facts out simply because they're important to the plot. They're important to the world of the story, and I think it's just really mature story writing, and I love it. I'm all about it. I want to watch another episode right away, but during the last 15 minutes of that, my earbuds were telling me that they need to charge, so I'm going to have to wait a little bit, but I can't. I'm super excited for when they're good to go, when I get the green light. I'll be able to do that reaction for you guys here next week. So don't forget to leave your comments. Don't forget to like. I'm sure you've already subscribed, because you guys, the Expanse fan base, are awesome. I love all your support, all the information you share, how enthusiastic you are for this show. It means the world to me, and I feel like I've been welcomed into that community. It really, it's been a wonderful ride so far, and I love that there's so much more still to go. So, love you guys. Can't wait to next week. Until then, everybody, take care, stay healthy. We'll see you soon. Cheers.